Come up to standing. Feet 1 to 2 fists width apart. Soft bend in our knees. Allow yourself to draw the energy up from the base of the body, up through the crown of the head. Turn your palms forward. And just enjoy a nice, focused, standing mountain pose. Allow yourself to rock forward into your toes and back into your heels. Try not to lock the knees. Make sure that they're nice and loose, slightly bent. Take your arms out to the sides. Inhale, lift your arms up overhead. And on the exhale, bring your hands down to heart center. Now inhale, lift up. Take a slight back bend. And on the exhale, let's hinge forward to a flat back. As we come to a flat back, again, keep the knees nice and relaxed. Reach back to your fingertips. Press back to the hips. And on the exhale, bend your knees slightly, sweep the floor, and inhale up. And exhale, hands to the heart. So let's do this a couple more times. Inhale. Exhale. Inhale, press back. Exhale, sweep the floor, and inhale up. Exhale, hands to the heart. One more time. Inhale. Exhale. Inhale. Exhale, and all the way back up. Exhale, hands to the heart. Now let's go ahead and step up to the top of the mat. Place our hands on our hips. And then take a nice step back with your right foot. Make sure the foot angle's out. Bring your body over your right hip. Bend your left knee. Let's lift the arms up overhead. Palms facing each other. And breathe. Interlace your fingers. Draw your arms back behind you. You can keep your gaze forward or look up toward the ceiling if you want to challenge your balance. Nice back bend here. Open through the heart center. And on the exhale, let's lower the arms down. Separate your hands. Interlace the fingers. Draw the shoulder blades closer to each other. Let's hinge forward to a flat back. Lift the arms up overhead, humble warrior. And then release the hands, bring them back to heart center, lift your right heel, step forward, and then step back with the left foot. As we step back with that left foot, position it where it feels like it's allowing the hip to open out comfortably. Bend your right knee. Lift the arms up overhead once again. Breathe. Let's interlace those fingers. Draw your arms back. Lift your gaze if you want to challenge the balance. Open through the heart. And on the exhale, lower the hands down. Separate the hands, bring them behind the back. Again, let's hinge forward to a flat back. Lift the arms up. Humble warrior once again. And then release the hands to the hips. Lift your back heel. Step forward. Let's step into a wide-legged posture. Allow yourself to take your feet wider than your hips. Let the toes be pointing in the same direction. And allow yourself to place the hands on the hips for a moment. Lift the toes of your right foot up and pivot your right foot to the end of the mat. Keep your hips open to the side. Bend your right knee. Drop down equally between both legs. Let's extend arms out at shoulder height, palms down. Now, look down the center of your right arm. Look off into the distance. Warrior two. Now, turn the right palm up. Lift the hand toward the ceiling, lightly touch the back leg. Exalted warrior, and breathe. Now, inhale, and on the exhale, back to your warrior two. Place your left hand on your left hip. Straighten your right leg. Reach out over the right leg. Connect with your shin. Back of the hand, bring your left shoulder back. Stack your left arm over your right, triangle. And breathe. You can lift up with that left hand, lift away from that leg so that you're barely touching the leg. This will engage your core more. And on the exhale, bend that right knee once again. Both hands to your hips. Pivot the right foot to the center. And now we're going to pivot the left foot to the end of the mat. Bend the left knee. Extend arms out to shoulder height, palms down. Look down the center of that left arm. Look off into the distance again. Warrior two. Breathe. Turn the left palm up. Lift the left hand, lightly touch the back leg, exalted warrior, lateral flexion of your spine, and breathe. Now inhale, and on the exhale, back to your warrior two. Allow yourself to place your right hand on your right hip, straighten your left leg, reach out over that left leg, connect with your shin, draw your right shoulder back, stack the right arm over the left. Once again, triangle pose. And now, returning to your warrior two once again. Bring both hands to your hips. Let's pivot the left foot back to the front. Hinge forward to a flat back. Extend your arms out to shoulder height. You can shift forward into the base of your toes and back into your heels. You can draw those arms back behind you. That's going to stretch your hamstrings and the inner thighs. And breathe. You might put your fingertips down in front. Again, we do want to keep our head kind of level with our heart. You can rest on the fingertips or put the palms down if you prefer. And breathe. And then we're going to bring the hands back to the hips. Inhale your head up. Let's heel toe our feet together. And we're going to go ahead and make our way down onto the mat in a tabletop position. As we come down to the mat in a tabletop position, let's make sure our wrists are underneath our shoulders. Knees are underneath our hips. Engage the back muscles more fully. So basically, this is your nice tabletop position. It's not exciting, but it does allow you to engage fully through the core. And then we're going to lift our head up. Look forward. Let the center of your spine drop down. Tailbone tilts up. And on the exhale, tuck your tailbone under. Draw your chin to your chest. Lift the center of your spine up. We can move through cat-cow here if you like. Inhaling and exhaling. One more time on the exhale. And then we're going to come back to neutral. Take your right leg back behind you, tuck your toes, level your hips out. You can stay here, or you can take that right leg and cross over the left. Tuck the toes on the outside of the body. Look over your left shoulder at your right foot if you like. Now bring your right leg back to center. Set the right knee down. Extend your left leg back. Tuck the toes, level the hips. Again, breathe. Decide if you want to take that left leg across. Look over your right shoulder at your left foot. We're going to come back to center. Set the knee down. We might ease our hips back toward our heels. They may not go all the way to the heels. You can come down onto your forearms, maybe stack your hands underneath your head. So child's pose, remember we have options to keep our knees apart or together. And again, hips can be elevated or they can be all the way back resting on your heels. And breathe. Now let's extend our arms out in front of us, palms on the mat. Shift your body forward. And on the exhale, release your hips down toward the mat. Inhale, lift up, and exhale, ease your hips back. So we can flow through this a few times if you like. Take your time and move within your range of motion. Inhaling and exhaling. Now this time when we come forward, we can let our hips release down. Allow yourself to notice how this feels. You might decide to lower down all the way to the mat. Stack your forearms on top of one another. Turn your head to one side or the other. And give yourself a moment here to relax. See if you can let go of some of the tension. So crocodile pose is going to be gentle compression in your abdomen, a mild back bend. It just gives you an opportunity to release some tension in the back and in the abdominal area, in the hip area as well. Now, if crocodile suits you can stay here. If you feel like you need more, you can bring your elbows underneath your chest, forearms and palms on the mat. Now, when we come up into this is Sphinx pose. It's a little bit deeper of a back bend, but it's still going to be passive and it should be relaxing. Also gives you less compression in the chest area if you prefer that. So, and once again, you can lift your head and chest up higher, or you can drop them down a little closer to the mat as well. It's still a passive back bend. Notice when you take a deep breath in, you're still getting your compression in the abdomen. And on the exhale, as you release that exhale, you're going to get a release of tension across the back too. Now, maybe we decide we want to come into something more challenging. We can angle our forearms toward the corners of the mat. We can press into our hands, and when we come up off the mat, we're coming up into seal pose. This is a little bit more engaged, and you're probably going to clench your glutes when you come up into this. So see if once you get here, if you can relax a little bit more and breathe. And I'm going to go ahead and lower back down. We'll slide our hands back close to our rib cage, palms against the mat. And then when you press up off the mat, this time you're in a much deeper back bend, closer to a cobra. And then allow yourself to ease your hips back towards your heels, knees together or apart, hips close to the heels or not, hands under your forehead, and breathe. Now we're going to press into our palms. We'll walk our hands back in toward the body, and then let's come around to a seated position. So as we come to seated, we're going to come into just a comfortable, easy seated pose. Allow yourself to sit up tall. Elongate up through the crown of the head. Let the shoulders relax down. Again, seated, like a seated warm-up pose like this, or a standing mountain, all those are really good for the posture. Again, you want to bring your attention to the base of the body, lift away from the mat. Lift up through the crown of the head, keep the chin level, shoulders down and slightly back. And breathe. Now from here, on the next exhale, we're going to start to lower our chin toward the chest. So just a little bit of a stretch in the back of the neck. And on the inhale, let's lift our head up to level. And if you like, you can lift it above level. So just flexing and extending the neck at this point. Exhale, lower the chin down. And inhale, lift the head up, lift the chin. Once more, exhale, lowering the chin. Maybe even start to round the shoulders forward this time. Inhale as you lift your head up. Let's start to draw the shoulders back a bit. So we're moving it further down into the spine. Exhale, drop your chin, round your shoulders forward. Maybe your mid-back rounds out. Inhale, lift up, draw the shoulders back a bit more, a little bit of a deeper back bend. And exhale, chin comes down, shoulders round forward, round out that mid-back pretty significantly. So this movement, you can keep it as gentle or you can make it as expansive as you like. One more time, inhale, and once more on the exhale. And then we're going to come back up to neutral. Lift your shoulders up by your ears. Let's shorten the muscles here at the top of the shoulders. And on the exhale, let's squeeze the shoulders together and back. Release your hands down. Let's bring them forward. Lift them up. Exhale, draw them back. Release them down. One more time. Bring the shoulders forward. Maybe even really allow the shoulders to come forward deeply. This time, lift the shoulders up, draw them back, and this time let's put your fingertips down behind you. So just turn them away from the front of the body. They can be out away from your body, or you can work them in closer. Now we're letting the muscles along the spine shorten and soften, relax, and breathe. Now, let's keep the right hand where it's at and bring our left hand over to our right knee. So we're coming into a seated spinal twist, just facing that right knee. Keep the spine elongated. If this is the twist that feels right to you, maybe it's as deep as you like to go today, you can stay here. If you want more, slide the hand in a bit closer to the hip, press against the thigh. Again, keep your head in alignment with your shoulders, but follow the lower portion of your body as you twist a little bit deeper. Breathe. And then we're going to come back to center. Let our left hand come back to where it was, shoulders drawn back. Bring your right hand over to your left knee. Again, sit nice and tall. Allow yourself to turn a little bit more toward the thigh. Slide the hand in closer if you like. Take the twist deeper if you like. Again, remember that responding to your body in the way that you find it today is going to be the most helpful, not expecting it to feel the same each time you come to the mat. And breathe. And then we're going to come back to center. Let's extend our arms out in front. This is a nice shoulder release. It's somatic. Palms up. This is inhale. And on the exhale, let those fingertips come to the shoulders. Inhale and extend. Exhale, fingertips to the shoulders. Nice and smooth. Inhale, extend, and exhale, fingertips to the shoulders. Now when the fingertips come to the shoulders, this time inhale, open the elbows out. Again, follow your range of motion. Exhale, elbows come toward each other. Inhale, open. Exhale, elbows toward one another. Once more, inhale. And once more on the exhale. Now when the elbows come together, let's interlace our fingers. Inhale, open your elbows out, palms down. Exhale, draw your elbows toward one another. Inhale and exhale. Once more, inhale. And once more on the exhale. And then from here, let's go ahead and place our hands down. Let's keep our left leg in front and bring our right leg back. Allow yourself to come into a Z-sit position. Place one hand on either side of this left knee. And as you are ready, allow yourself to bend your elbows, lower down toward the knee. Take your time with it. And then inhale, lift up through the crown of the head. So remember, you can be making this more like a back bend, or you can keep your back straight with it. Move in accordance with what your body feels comfortable with today. Exhale, lower down. And inhale, lifting up. Once more, exhale. And once more on the inhale. Now let's take our hands over to the outside of that knee. We can twist a little bit, or we can twist deeper if we like. And we could stay in this upright position or fold over the leg and come down onto the forearms if you like. And breathe. Remembering that this is a deep twist and deep compression. It's calming for your nervous system, helpful with the digestive system, and good for the legs, hips, and back, neck, and shoulders. And then we're going to walk our hands back in. We might extend our right leg out, keep our left leg centered. Allow yourself to place your hands in front, lean forward, maybe walk your hands out. As you walk your hands forward, you are going to meet some resistance at a certain point. So allow yourself to notice that resistance, and rather than just pushing through it, give yourself permission to pause. And if the body is relaxing and allowing you to go a bit further forward, feel free to do that. But if it doesn't, let go of that tension right now. Maybe we decide that this is enough today. And then take your hands over to the extended leg. Maybe you place them on the thigh, possibly slide them toward the ankle. Nice stretch for the extended leg. And breathe. Now we're going to bring the right leg in front of the left leg, or you might choose to put the foot on the knee, knee on the foot, or you can go for a shoelace. I think we're going to go for square today on this side for me. Again, it doesn't matter which one you choose. I just like to give you options. Let's take our arms out to shoulder height. Bring your left arm over your right. Give yourself another big hug here. It's going to stretch the muscles across the upper back, shorten the muscles in the chest. Allow yourself to notice how this feels. You can stay here, drop your chin, round forward or fold forward if you choose, and breathe. And then inhale, we're going to come back up. And on the exhale, let's unwind the arms, extend them all the way out. Let the hands come down beside you. Let them be flexed when you get here, and rather than pressing into the hands, lift away from the hands a bit. Turn the fingers toward the back of the mat. Once again, this is going to bring us back into that heart opening position, but it's also going to allow us a lot of space to make some neck circles. Lower your chin down. Maybe you take your chin over towards your right shoulder and look out over the shoulder. Lift your chin up from there, bring your head to center. Turn to the left. Lower the chin down, back to center. Couple more circles here. Take your time. And breathe. One final time, we'll make the circles if we are still making them. Again, don't push yourself through any pain or discomfort. And once your head comes back to center, let's pause. We'll lift the head up, and let's go ahead and do this again on the other side. So we'll bring our right leg forward, bring our left leg back this time. One hand on either side of this knee. And on the exhale, bend your elbows, lower down, and inhale, lift up. So we're back in that Z sit. Again, take your time, listen to your body and what it's telling you. Inhale. And one more time, exhale, lower down. And inhale, when we come up, we're already in a twist, and we can take it a little bit deeper or a lot deeper if we choose. You can fold over that leg, come down onto your forearms. Nice deep twist, deep compression of the abdomen, calming forward fold. And breathe. Again, walk our hands back in, extend our left leg out if you choose. As you extend that left leg out, you might decide to place your hands in front of the right ankle. Lean forward, walk your hands out, and again, we're looking for that place where our body starts to resist. And breathe. From here, we can walk our hands over to that extended leg, fold over the extended leg if you choose, and breathe. Come back up, bring that left leg in front. Easy seated, foot on knee, knee on foot for square, or opt for shoelace if you choose on this side. Arms out. Bring your right arm over your left. Give yourself another big hug here. You can stay with this. Drop your chin, round forward or fold forward. Notice you might feel a nice deep stretch in that left hip, the glute. Inhale will come up. And on the exhale, unwind the arms, extend them all the way out. Let your hands come down beside you. Nice and elongated in the neck, shoulders dropping down. Turn your fingers toward the back of the mat if you like. And breathe. Let's lower the chin to the chest. Release some of that tension in the back of the neck. And from here, if you'd like to make 3 neck circles, you can. Suggesting that you take the circles in the opposite direction. But again, you might have a preference. Maybe if it's too challenging on one side, you can do more repetitions on the same. Never push yourself through discomfort and pain. When you notice that there's some pain or discomfort, give yourself permission to be a bit more gentle, compassionate, give the body a chance to let go of the tension when it's ready. One more circle in this direction. And once your head's back to center, let's pause. Now, let's take our legs out into a wide-legged position. Allow yourself to take a nice, comfortable stretch. And again, you might need to make some adjustments until it feels more comfortable. But once you're there, we're already getting a stretch in the legs just by extending them. Legs or the feet are relaxed as well. Do try to lean forward so you're sitting more at the top of your thighs, the top of the thigh bone, rather than at your tailbone area. And decide how this feels, if this stretch is what you need, or do you want to add to it? You can draw your toes towards you. Notice when you do how that feels in the back of the legs. Point your toes, you'll feel the tops of the feet and the shins engaging. And you can point and flex a few times while you're at it. Breathe. And then decide where it feels most comfortable. You're engaged, you're getting a good stretch, and you can put your hands in front, maybe lean from your hip flexors, walk your hands forward, slide them down the shins toward the ankles. Again, take this to where it feels right to you. Look for a good stretch. If you push into some pain or discomfort, ease up on it. Give yourself a chance to get a stretch without finding pain. And that's very challenging sometimes. When you find discomfort, allow yourself to adjust, make a modification if necessary, and breathe. And then we're going to walk those hands back in. We might take our legs out in front. Seated staff pose, always a fun one. Allow yourself to bring your attention to the base of your body. Pull your energy up off the floor a little bit. That'll draw it more towards your solar plexus. Lift up through the crown of the head. Draw your toes towards you to engage your leg muscles as well. Hands can rest on your legs or beside you, but we're not using the hands really so much. So allow yourself to sit tall, engage the torso, and allow yourself to breathe here. That's it, seated staff pose. Not exciting, but if you do this repetitively, you're gonna feel more and more engaged when you come into this. A few more breaths and let yourself really feel the engagement, and then let yourself relax. Now, we're gonna bend the right knee, bring it in toward us if you like. You can keep it on the inside, or you could cross it over that left leg if you want. Sole of the foot resting on the mat. And then we're going to put our left hand on top of the right knee, sit up a little taller, put your right hand behind you. With that extended leg, if you draw your toes towards you, you're going to be more engaged in that leg as well. We're going to look toward the right shoulder. So with the hand just resting on the knee, you can pull it in a little bit more deeply. You could wrap your elbow around the knee. It's up to you. So we're in a seated spinal twist here with a nice leg stretch. We're fully engaging our core from kneecaps to rib cage. Just take a minute and breathe and notice how it feels. And then we're going to come back to center, bring our right hand to our right ankle and twist in the opposite direction. And breathe. And then we're going to come back to center, extend the right leg. Let's bend the left knee. And again, you can bring that in close, keep it further if you need to. Keep it on the inside if you want, or you can cross it over. Let your right hand rest on top of the left knee, sit up tall, draw those toes towards you if you want to. And then we're going to place our left hand down beside us, and we're going to come into a simple seated spinal twist. You want to be able to breathe, relax. You can intensify it by bringing the knee in, but you may not want to do that. So you decide and breathe. Now let's let our body come back to center. Bring that left hand to the left ankle, and just come into that unwinding twist and breathe. Then we're going to find our way back to center. Let's try to do the sideline series. And so we're going to come onto the right side. Let our head rest on our arm. Now you can rest on the arm with it down, or you can prop your head up with this. You can bend your knees to a 90-degree angle and let this top hand be a stabilizer. Just let it be right here to make sure that we don't wobble or fall over. Now the attention is going to come to the knees up. Allow yourself to keep your feet together. Inhale, open your knees apart. And on the exhale, let your knees come together. Again, slow somatic movement. Inhale, knees apart. Exhale, knees together. Once more, inhale, knees apart. And once more, exhale, knees together. Now keep your knees together this time. Inhale, feet apart. Exhale, feet together. Inhale, feet apart. Exhale, feet together. Once more, inhale. And once more, exhale. Now we'll do a series of alternating. Inhale, knees apart. Exhale, knees together. Inhale, feet apart. Exhale, together. Inhale, knees. Exhale. Inhale, feet. And exhale. One more set. Inhale, knees. Exhale. Inhale, feet. And exhale. And now we're going to extend our legs all the way down. Lift the top one about a foot or so off the bottom one and allow yourself to keep that leg extended. This is inhale. And on the exhale, you can let that knee come towards your shoulder. Now I'm going to barely bend my knee and then I'm going to straighten it out. You can bring it all the way up to your shoulder if you like. So this is inhale and exhale is the knee toward the shoulder. Inhale, straighten. Exhale, knee toward the shoulder. You stay within a range of motion that you can do. And one more time, exhale, knee toward the shoulder. And inhale, straighten. Now with that leg straight, you can turn your toes down toward the floor. Inhale, turn your toes up toward the ceiling. Again, stay within a range of motion that you can handle. Exhale, toes down. Inhale, toes up. Once more, exhale. Once more, inhale. Lower that leg down. And then we're going to come over onto our other side. And again, sorry, I can't give you like a really good visual, but I'll do a little bit better on this side. Once again, let your head rest on your arm. You can bend your knees to a 90-degree angle. Allow yourself to keep this hand here for stability. Bring your attention, keeping those ankles together, bring your attention into the knees. Inhale, knees apart. Exhale, knees together. Inhale, knees apart. Exhale, knees together. Once more, inhale, knees apart. And exhale, knees together. Now let's keep the knees together. Inhale, open your feet apart. Exhale, together. Inhale, feet apart. Exhale. Once more, inhale. And once more, exhale. Now we'll do a set of alternating. Inhale, knees apart. Exhale, together. Inhale, feet apart. Exhale, together. Inhale, knees. Exhale. Inhale, feet. Exhale, one more. Inhale, knees. Exhale. Inhale, feet. And exhale. And now we're going to extend those legs all the way down to the end of the mat. Allow yourself to lift the top leg off the bottom leg about less than a foot, just enough, wherever it feels right to you. Flex the foot. This is inhale. And on the exhale, let's bring that knee toward the shoulder. Inhale and straighten. Exhale, knee toward the shoulder. Inhale and straighten. And exhale, knee toward the shoulder. And then from here, we're going to extend that leg all the way down. And on the exhale, turn your toes down. Inhale, turn your toes up. Exhale, down. Inhale, up. Once more, exhale. Once more, inhale. Lower the leg down. And then we're going to come onto our back for supine positions. So allow yourself to bend those knees. Place the feet as far apart as you want and also bring them in closer to your body or further away. Allow yourself to make adjustments to your hips, the arch of your back, the space between your shoulder blades. Maybe you let your hands rest on your body or away from your body. Allow yourself to take a moment and maybe let your knees sway side to side here a bit. Take your time. Notice how this feels. Now, we'll do this one more time in each direction, and then we'll meet back in the middle. Allow yourself to bring those feet in close to each other, ankles and knees touching. Excuse me, let your knees drop over to the right. Extend your left arm out away from your shoulder, your hand out away from your shoulder, I should say, sorry. Now we're twisting from the base of the skull to the tailbone. Allow yourself to notice. Notice how this feels. You're basically twisting a pretty significant twist, but we're trying to relax our body in this. So even though it's a good twist all the way through the spine, it should be fairly relaxing. It's fairly gentle. So if you notice you're holding some tension somewhere, give yourself permission to let go of some of it. So we start out with a super gentle supine spinal twist because we can go into deeper twists later, but we want the body to be a bit more relaxed. And then we'll let the knees come back to center. Allow yourself to shift the knees to the left this time and extend your right arm out. Once again, we're going to come into that supine spinal twist. Find a twist, let your body relax and soften just a bit more. So notice if you have your toes curled up, or if you're clenching your teeth, or if your hands are in a fist, just anywhere you're holding tension, see if you can let go of some of it and breathe. Now we're going to go ahead and bring those knees back to center. Then allow yourself to consider lifting both legs up overhead. You can have your hands behind the legs for support if you like. You could point and flex your feet a bit. Allow yourself to come into legs up the wall. And breathe. Maybe we just hang out here like this. Again, it doesn't have to be an active pose, but it can be. And breathe. Good for your circulation, your heart health, your digestive system. It's also calming for anxiety and insomnia. Breathe. And then we're going to put our left foot down. Put your right foot over on top of your left knee. We're coming into a supine pigeon. So when you come into this supine pigeon as the knee opens out, we just need to take it to where it feels comfortable. You can bounce your knee a little bit if you like. Doesn't have to be a super intense hip opening stretch. You could extend that left leg all the way up toward the ceiling, interlace your fingers behind that left leg possibly, and that's going to take you into a deeper stretch. And breathe. And then we're going to go ahead and put that left foot down. Allow yourself to slide your right knee over on top of the left knee, internal rotation of your thighs. You can stay right here or let the knees drop to the left. Extend your right arm out, look towards your right hand. So nice deep supine spinal twist. This one's going to give you more intense stretch in your hip and shoulder, more twist through the center of your torso. And breathe. And if you find it to be too intense, you can always uncross the knees. Let's let the knees come back to center. And on the exhale, set that right foot down. Allow yourself to draw the left knee in towards your chest and place the left foot on top of the right knee this time. And again, you can just bounce the knee gently if you need a very gentle hip opening stretch. You could draw the right knee in towards your chest if you like. You might interlace your fingers behind that leg. You could extend the right leg up toward the ceiling or not, your choice, and breathe. And then maybe we put that right foot down, slide the left knee over on top of the right knee, let your knee shift over to the right side of the body, extend your left arm out, and we come into another supine spinal twist with a deep hip and shoulder stretch. Bring those knees back to center. We're going to place our feet down on the mat next to each other, ankles and knees touching, and then let the soles of your feet come together. Let your knees drop open here. Passive external rotation of your thighs, landing significantly in the inner thigh area. And it's basically what we want to do is let our muscles relax as much as possible so the connective tissue can stress in the hip joints. And breathe. The goal is to let the muscles relax, which can sometimes be challenging because the muscles are going to fire up and try to stay engaged because of how much stress it feels in the connective tissue. The only way the connective tissue will loosen up is to stress it. So it's kind of a dance between getting the muscles to relax and getting into that deep release in the connective tissue. And then we're going to bring both knees back to center. You might take your feet a bit wider than hip distance. Turn your toes in, let your knees drop in toward each other. This is a passive internal rotation of your thighs. Depending on how far apart you have your feet and how much they're turned in, you're going to feel this in the outer edges of your hips and across your sacrum. Again, passive, so it will put some stress on the connective tissue. That's a strange sensation to begin to get comfortable with because we don't think about the connective tissue holding all that tension. And breathe. Now we might bring those knees in all the way to the chest. You can place your hands on your knees, rock a little bit with the knees across the abdomen, loosening up some tension in the abdomen. You can maybe take your knees out a little bit wider. You can rest your hands on your shins possibly, or you could reach for the edges of the feet, lift the soles of the feet up toward the ceiling. Happy baby. You could rock side to side here. And again, you're going to feel the hip joints, that connective tissue, but you're also going to get a nice stretch in the muscles, in the legs as well, and breathe, and a little bit of a back massage too. You could reach for the big toes. You might open both legs out in a supine wide-legged pose, or some variation on that, and breathe. Again, we can take the legs up overhead if we choose. One last time. Ready? Bend the knees. Release them down toward the floor. Extend them all the way to the end of the mat. Reach your arms overhead if you like. Stretch out from fingertips to toes. Point and flex your feet. When you're ready, you can let those feet fall open to either side. You can let your hands rest, palms upward. It's up to you if you choose to be in Shavasana pose, or if you prefer, roll over into a crocodile or a child's pose or some other variation. If you're near a wall and you want to do legs up the wall for the final relaxation, that's another option too. Give yourself permission to take this time to let go of doing. Again, keeping in mind the whole point of yoga is not the poses. We do them to get our body to be more comfortable in stillness. Our level of relaxation is going to vary from time to time when we come to our practice. Remembering that when the body is not able to relax as much as we'd like, or it has some discomfort that we struggle with, a lot of times that's our body trying to give us information, remind us that we don't always have to do everything to the maximum degree, that how our body allows us to move today is enough. So when you come into stillness and you notice that there's some tension you weren't able to let go of, or there's some lingering discomfort just because that part of your body is uncomfortable today, or maybe you overdid it, maybe you haven't moved that part of the body much in a while, allowing yourself to notice the areas of discomfort, but also areas where maybe we don't feel as strong as we'd like. Can we notice those areas with compassion? Can we allow ourselves to be less than perfect? Can we allow ourselves to be okay with our body not performing exactly as we want it to every day? Again, as time goes by, that becomes more and more important to each of us. So allow yourself to notice those areas of the body that need a little more attention or a little more compassion. Allow yourself to notice the areas of the body that can still stretch and move in a way that sometimes surprises us as well. Give yourself permission to notice with compassion what your body needs each and every day. Notice the areas of the body that do feel very relaxed. Notice those areas that surprised you today or that maybe even delighted you when you moved them. Give yourself permission to have that same level of compassion and surprise when we find that, hey, I could do that today, or that felt really good. Just as much as we also give ourselves that compassion when we can't do something. So noticing the body, all that it could do, the things that it struggled to do. Allow yourself to notice your breathing. Take a moment and just observe the breath as it is right now. The rhythm, the depth, and the pace of the breath. If your breath gets dysregulated often, remind yourself that the easiest way to get it to be regulated is just pay attention to it. Allow yourself to notice your emotions that are present. We're in a time in this world where there's a lot of emotion. Give yourself permission to observe your emotions for a time without judgment, without trying to fix or change the emotions that arise. Allow yourself to notice your thoughts. Again, a product of a brain processing information. Our thoughts just fill our head. It's a nonstop barrage of things that run through our mind. Remind yourself that not every thought has to be attended to today. Sometimes we'll have a thought that we need to jot down or we need to get to right away, but other times we'll notice a lot of things that cross our mind that maybe we don't need to give them attention to today. Know that the important things always come back around. So allow yourself to be the observer of everything rather than a responder all the time. Now, there's going to be times we have to respond immediately, but when we're in stillness after a yoga class, it's the perfect time to be the observer of everything, not judging, no expectation. Allow yourself to just breathe and just be. Allow yourself to notice yourself just being exactly as you are. Are we able to remember that we're enough exactly as we are? We don't actually have to fix or change anything to be enough. Let's give ourselves a bit more compassion this week as we go through the things that we face, the things we have to accomplish. Remembering that our just being is enough. If the only thing we can attend to today is just to be, that's still going to be enough. And it feels right to allow yourself to begin to move again. Wiggle your fingers and toes, allow yourself to stretch. Take your time and slowly and gradually make your way back up to a comfortable upright seated posture. And when you do come to seated, choose a mudra of your liking. Thumbs in your palms, fingers around your thumbs, Adi Mudra, grounding and calming. Right hand over your heart, left hand on top, gesture of self-acceptance, Hridaya. Or if you just like standard Anjali Mudra with the thumb knuckles resting on your sternum, that's a great one for gratitude and devotion. But think about your practice today. Notice what you liked, what you didn't like, what was easy, challenging, frustrating. I want to thank you all for sharing your practice with me today. I honor the place in you, which is of love, of truth, of light, and of peace, from my heart to yours. Namaste.